Sport is about more than just a game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
Get the Māori Plus app. Download now on Google Play or the App Store with exclusive viewings and 100% ad-free.
Quite like top tier.
Watch us anywhere, anytime. Make Māori Plus your mate and stream now. Māori Active, streaming live at youtube.com/Whakaata Māori. Subscribe now.
Pāpa ki tua ngā taiki mauau, I nuku hia, I neke hia, I whiua reretia e hotu, a wahine rua ki te wai, ki tai wiwi, ki tai wawa, ki te whai ao, ki te ao maramati hei mauri ora. Ka tangi atu rā, kia kingi tū hei tia, po te tau te whero te tua whetu, kua riro ki te pō e moi rā. We mourn the passing of the Kingi Tuheitia and extend our heartfelt condolences to the whānau and iwi as the entire nation joins in the mourning of his loss. E te iwi, nau mai, haere mai ki tēnei pāpā hōtanga o Whakaata Māori. We acknowledge the mountains, the waters and people who sustain the fires, the home fires of this area. Tēnā koutou katoa. To the organisers, the athletes, a warm welcome to you also. E mihi ana kia koutou katoa. Welcome to the New Zealand Secondary Schools Cup Climbing for 2024 at Rocktopia, located in Mount Maunganui. My name is Te Roimata Rangi and supported by the subject matter expert who is...
Sarah Tetzlaff.
Ngā mihi kia koe, Sarah. So currently we are on day 2 of the New Zealand Secondary Schools Climbing Cup, culminating from yesterday where we had our qualifiers and now to our top 8 in both the senior females and the senior males. So very shortly our organising committee will be presenting our athletes here to show our supporters and spectators of who's achieved the positions into this finals competition. So for Sarah, a little bit of background about yourself.
I'm actually a speed climber, but I started in the boulder lead climbing must be 12 years ago now, and I competed in boulder lead right up until 4 or 3 year ago, and have transitioned into speed climbing, and I have recently come back from the Olympics where I competed in speed climbing, so I know a little bit about this stuff, a little bit out of touch with it, but yeah, I helped also route set at this event, so I'm pretty excited to see these climbers on our climbs and see if we have challenged them enough, and yeah, it's going to be really exciting, I think.
Cool. Before we get into the action, we would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. First, a big thank you to Whakaata Māori for bringing this live stream to us all, free of charge and accessible no matter where you are located. We are also grateful for the support of Whakaata Māori, Bailey's Real Estate, Caltex, New Zealand Carbon Farming and Apollo's projects. And we finally thank Te Tauda Whiri for the valuable mahi that are doing to support Te Reo Māori commentary and development. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa. So currently we are seeing our senior females presented from the 8th qualifier through to the 1st. So coming out representing the Hutt Valley, we have
Jess Young.
Waikato Diocese School for Girls,
Rena Park,
Wellington Girls College,
Sylvie Malcolm Tate,
Westlake Girls College,
Amaya Tan Peters,
Mount Maunganui College,
Cara Hicks,
Mount Maunganui,
Misha Borman,
Barradine College,
Dixie Whitting,
and Te Aho o Te Kura Pounamu.
Grace Hanson,
And quickly we'll move through. We have Heretonga College,
Aidan Coleman,
Tauranga College Boys,
Bailey Arrowsmith,
Sacred Heart College,
Sen Ning,
Rotorua Lakes High School,
Dane Napier,
Wellington High School,
Finn Mano Simpson,
Northcote College,
Luca Sugimoto Faulkner,
Heretonga College,
Falk Neil Horman,
and Northcote College.
Finlay Kate.
So congratulations to our kai whakataitai, so our top finalists within the 2 categories. Again, just reconfirming for the females, Jess Young, Rena Park, Sylvia Tate, Malcolm Tate, Maya Tam Peters, Cara Hicks, Misha Borman and Dixie Whitehead. And ranked in first place we have Grace Hanson. Ngā mihi kia koutou katoa.
So here's our start list on this screen. So we're going to start with the 8th ranked climber, which is Aidan. And we go all the way down to first place after qualifiers yesterday, which is Finlay. So when the climbers are on the wall, we should see the first climbers maybe not getting as high on the wall, and as the next climbers come out, they should start getting a little bit higher as the ability increases. So that's what's really exciting about the bouldering, is that it looks really difficult at first with the first climbers, and then people just get better and better, and then normally the top guys just make those first moves look super easy, and yeah.
So I noticed that they presented the climbers and now they've disappeared. Where have they gone at the moment?
So the climbers have gone into isolation, so they're not actually allowed to watch each other climb. So there's no learning that they can get from watching other climbers on the wall. So it's not just about your physical ability on the wall, it's also your problem-solving ability. So these climbers don't actually know how to do these climbs, and they've never seen them before. So they're about to come out and see them for the first time, and that's part of it. They have to work out, how do I get to the top, and how do I manage my energy so I don't burn myself out on the first move over and over again. So that's what you tend to see, is that some climbers might have their physical capabilities to do it, but they just can't work out how to do it. So that's also the exciting thing about the bouldering, is it's a mental and physical challenge.
Fantastic. So with this discipline, so we have, Sarah earlier talked about that her current specialist discipline within climbing, she does the speed climbing. We also have the bouldering and our top rope lead. I understand they have a 3-minute climb time.
Yeah, so they get 3 minutes to try and get to the top of the problem. If they get to the top of the problem, they finish, and they get the remaining time in the 3 minutes to rest. And then there's a 3-minute resting period between each boulder problem, and they have 3 boulder problems total. So they'll spend 3 minutes on the wall, 3 minutes resting, 3 minutes on the second one, 3 minutes resting, 3 minutes on the third problem.
So the gentleman that's currently on the screen at the moment, so the man that is our head route setter for this event, he is also the High Performance New Zealand Speed Climbing Coach. So I think you know that person quite well, Sarah.
Yep, that's Rob. He's been my coach for 7 years now. Formerly the head coach, the national head coach for Boulder Lead. And he's done a lot of route setting in the past, so he's the head setter for this event. He has a 20 plus years of climbing experience and knowledge, so he's tried to create some incredible challenges for these climbers to try out.
Wow. Now I just see the athletes being ushered into... Oh, they've disappeared around the corners. So what's happening at the moment, Sarah?
So this is where they have their observation period. So this is where the climbers are seeing the problems for the first time, and as a group they get to spend a couple minutes on each problem trying to work out from the ground how they can do the whole thing. So they're allowed to touch the start holds. The start holds are designated by red tape. So every hold where the red tape is touching is a start hold. So they're allowed to touch them, but they can't weight them. So they can't pull both feet off the ground and pull onto the wall, basically. So you can see there some of the climbers are just feeling them, seeing if something they're thinking about might work. And they're going to look at all three problems. Sometimes the climbers talk to each other and try and work it out together, and sometimes they don't talk to each other and keep their plans to themselves, basically. Normally, though, climbing is a very collaborative thing, and everyone, it's a pretty cool community. Everyone just wants each other to succeed, so you don't often get people sabotaging each other with what they're saying. So it's all about just working together, trying to figure out these cool problems, or just getting confused about how on earth you do things. And ultimately, it's down to each person on the day whether they can get to the top or not. And most of these competitors are also really good friends. So at the end, they might not be able to do it, and if their mate does, then they're pretty stoked for them. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing insight there, Sarah. It's great to be able to provide that insight for the viewers at home and for those family members that weren't able to attend their child. This is pretty cool. So there's quite a big contingent of officials that goes into a climbing event. So on the right hand screen there we have Rob and JJ, 2 of the 4 route setters. One currently is at work and the other just happens to be on the end of this microphone. So thank you very much, Sarah.
No problem.
We also have within the officials, we have a jury president. So ultimately that person has the final say on anything technical within the climbing and with the event itself. Lower down in the levels there, we have what we refer to as a head judge, who ensures that our route judges are able, and if they have any questions, to consistently and repetitively make great calls where we enable the climbers to achieve the best outcomes for them. Just in that little statement there, I talked about a route judge. So I know you haven't done too much of the route judging yourself. Mm-hmm. So, Sarah?
So the judge is responsible for making sure that the climbers start the problems properly. So as I mentioned before, there's 4 pieces of red tape that are touching holds or big features on the wall, which are called volumes. So we're looking at this big grey volume here, and there's 4 pieces of tape touching it, which means the climber has to put both hands and both feet on that volume before they can start moving through the rest of the problem. And you have to pull on in a controlled way before you start moving. So if you pull on and you're already falling off, it doesn't count as a legitimate start. So that's what the judge is there for, is to make sure that you're starting properly. And then they're also scoring you. So on the wall we can see these holds that have green tape touching the holds, and this is the points. You score points on those holds. So the first scoring hold has 5 points attached to it, which is that yellow one lower down on the screen. A little bit higher up we have the high zone, which is worth 10 points. So again, in order to score that 5 points, you have to be able to touch the hold and utilize it, which means that when you grab it, you have to show that you can basically pull yourself up using that hold and make a movement towards the next hold, or bring your other hand onto the hold. So if you just slap it, it doesn't count. You also don't get points if you stick your feet on those holds and not your hands. So it's all a little bit contrived, but I'm sure as you keep watching, it'll become a lot clearer how all the scoring works.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Again, I feel honoured and privileged to be able to sit in here partaking in this commentary with you, Sarah. I'd like now to just take an opportunity to, because this is the New Zealand Secondary Schools Climbing Cup, acknowledge a few of the colleges that we have finalists inside there. So just to reconfirm, we have Hutt Valley High School, Waikato Diocese School for Girls, Wellington Girls College, Westlake Girls College, Mount Maunganui College, Barradine College, Te Aho o Te Kura Pounamu, Heretaunga College, Tauranga Boys College, Sacred Heart College, Rotorua Lakes High School, Wellington High School, Northcote College, and Sacred Heart College. So a big shout out to those colleges there. I'm probably going to get myself into trouble here, but I do hope that these athletes, even though they've come out for viewing, possibly show their school colours. So my hope is when they do come out there, they represent their colleges, and I'm pretty sure everyone is quite proud of them for making it to these finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get a lot of crowd support too here for the different climbers from each school. And a lot of their teams didn't make the finals, so they're all here today in the crowd supporting climbers from their schools that did make finals. So that's always really special to see.
Oh, tēnā rā koutou. So just to reconfirm some of the partnerships that Climbing New Zealand has, we have Whakaata Māori, Bailey's, Caltex, New Zealand Carbon Farming and the Apollo projects. Also, we're currently located in Mount Maunganui in the Rocktopia climbing gym. So, ngā mihi kia koutou katoa, I ara mai, I matakitaki I a mātou, te whakataitai tēnei, ko te aupikitanga I te toka, nā reira, nau mai whakatau mai rā, kei te mihi kia koutou katoa. So just at the moment, there's a little bit of intermission there while our officials start mustering, ensuring that the judges and the athletes are quite ready. So this is only a very small portion of the spectators that we have here to support their climbers. So very shortly, once the climbers come out to start climbing, this place will erupt.
Absolutely. Lots of pretty excited climbers here.
So earlier, while we're doing the presentations of the athletes there, I know for me, I was finding it quite hard to hear just by the crowd's enthusiasm and the great things. So a lot of schoolmates out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cool thing about spectating a climbing competition is that the crowd knows how everyone has done, but the climbers don't know how each climber before them has done or how everyone will go after them. So the crowd get particularly loud when a progression is made on the climbs that hasn't happened before. So everyone might be getting stuck at one hold, and then the fifth person comes out and makes it to the next hold. It gets pretty wild.
Yeah. So I do understand within New Zealand, it's sport climbing is quite a minority sport. So I suppose with the success of yourself and Julian to be able to be selected to go to the Olympics, have you seen anything tangible evidence to suggest that the sport climbing is growing?
Absolutely. I mean, for starters, this is the biggest secondary schools championship we've ever had. I think there's 170 competitors, maybe more, that have competed over these 2 days, which is amazing that's and that's mostly from the North Island. There's still a lot of climbers who weren't able to make it from the South Island, so there's even more of them down there. So to have that many climbers at high school age is just incredible. And we get a massive turnout at Ames Games every year as well, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger year on year. I think it's mostly started after the Tokyo Olympics, when climbing made its debut as an Olympic sport for the first time. And then I definitely think that myself and my teammate Julian David competing in the speed climbing in Paris this year was just awesome for the sport. It was obviously very visible. I've heard a lot of comments about how much people love watching the climbing, and to have a couple of Kiwis on that big stage, I'm just so excited to see how the climbing community explodes. I think we're going to see a lot of people wanting to try the sport and take it up, of all ages, I think, in the next few years. So yeah, I think it's changing. There's more and more people wanting to compete, wanting to climb on the rock outdoors, and rightly so. Like, it's such a fun sport. It's so creative. there's no really one body type that climbing suits as well. It's such a cool thing. It's for everyone, and as I mentioned, the climbing community is just incredible, very supportive, very collaborative. So I think it just appeals to a lot of people from all walks of life.
Oh, Sarah, you are too modest. You talked about the Tokyo Olympics to being the catalyst. I do believe there was another athlete that went to the Youth Olympics.
I wonder who that was.
Could that be seen as the catalyst, actually putting sport climbing on the map in New Zealand?
Yeah, I will say, so I competed at the Youth Olympics back in 2018, and that was the start of the journey for me and my coach Rob, starting up this real Olympic dream, and I think that was the start of him getting together a bunch of really excited climbers to try and train hard and actually get to that next level. And yeah, I'm sure the visibility of me getting there was good. And now there's been 2 of us that have made it to the Olympics, which is amazing, and I'm sure there'll be more next time.
So our first athlete coming out here, so representing Hutt Valley High.
We have Jess Young starting her first boulder. So she's got 3 minutes to try and get to the top of this.
So just reconfirming, so she can have as many attempts as she likes within that 3-minute allocation.
Yep. And every time she has to start on those start holds. So this first move is a bit of a swing, and you've got to catch your feet and your hands at the same time on the holds. So you have to generate quite a lot of momentum on this big knob that she's holding onto. It's a lot about timing and precision. The purple volume or box that she's standing on is also really slippery. It's just got paint on it. There's no textured grain in it, so your feet also want to try and slip off that as soon as you land on it, so you have to be quite precise.
So someone like me, I see she's actually, to try and achieve the next move, more of a dynamic.
Yeah.
So we have our static and dynamic, so I don't think in this movement here we should be able to hold and reach around to the next one, so to achieve that next moment, so hence why she's trying to again gather that momentum, and
That was really close.
At this stage, just unable to hold that first hold.
Yeah, and what is a little hard to see is that hold that she's trying to catch is actually at least 2 meters away from the hold she's swinging off. So she's got to travel quite far right to try and land her feet. You can also see she can't actually reach the purple volume with her feet. She has to land straight on it. Oh, that was really close. There's also a small round hold there on the wall, and it's only big enough really to stick your thumb in to stabilize yourself as you land. Maybe your second finger, but it's pretty little.
So where our hands are going to now, you
nice.
might just make out there's a little circular thing. Is that awarded for scoring?
Which one? Yes, so the one she's landed on is the first zone. So she's now landed on there and she's controlling it, so she's gotten 5 points from that. However, every attempt that she did before that minuses 0.1 off the 5-point score. So I believe that took her about 5 attempts, so she'll get 4.5 points for landing on that zone hold.
Okay. So we're currently approximately about 10 seconds. So Jess has decided that she wouldn't be able to get further progress in her climb, so she made the decision to go back to isolation, and currently coming out from Waikato Diocese School for Girls.
This is Rena Park.
So at this stage, Rena will be attempting the same climb as what Jess had. So let's see how she approaches this, if she's slightly different to what Jess did.
She doesn't need as much swing because she's a little bit taller, so the gap to the purple hold is not as big.
So, Rena, so she's changing her style. She's thought about doing more statically, reaching out to there. Oh, I've just noticed that Rena's picked up. What's that in her hand? Is that a chalk bag?
Yeah, so it's what we call a chalk bucket, a little bit bigger than a chalk bag, and it has chalk in it. So your hands sweat quite a lot when you're climbing, which you can imagine makes your hands pretty slippery. So chalking up helps keep your hands dry and keeps the friction feeling really good on these holds. All of the holds are textured like sandpaper pretty much. They're all quite grippy, but over time they can get chalk and rubber from the shoes building up on the holds, which then makes them really, really slippery. So at the moment these holds are pretty fresh. They haven't been climbed on very much, so they're still feeling quite grippy. But as the 8th climber comes out, they'll be a little bit more worse for wear.
Unlucky in that space for Rena, unable to hold it and stick that. So I think, and I could be corrected here, so she paused a little bit while she was chalking up. Could she be trying to find a solution of possibly doing something different?
Yeah, definitely. If you try one thing a few times and it's just not working. Oh, there we go. That was awesome. So that time she got her hips right into the wall. Every other time she was falling away from the wall. She's still got a bit of time. This move she has to drop down a little bit to catch this hold with her feet on it. Awesome. And that hold she's grabbing is the last hold, so she has to get both hands on that to finish it.
So well done to the Waikato Diocese School for Girls climber Rena Park, who has successfully topped that boulder problem.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that.
And very shortly, welcome back. So we're just showing Rena's attempt again. Moving forward. So we're currently, and we're coming back with Jess Young. Okay, so what's currently happening out here? Because we have two problems, they have a 3-minute attempt and a 3-minute break. So now we're going to have two athletes on the wall.
Yep, so Jess is coming back off her 3-minute break, and now she's starting the second climb. And on the first boulder, we've got Sylvie Malcolm-Tate, who's come out for her first climb.
So Sylvie represents the Wellington Girls College. Okay, so currently, Jess is moving further out of the boulder cave. She'll be the climber climbing the green problem, and then we have Sylvie further in on the pink. As the next, I think if my math is correct, in about 9 minutes time, we'll have all three boulder problems being worked on at the same time.
I believe so. Great maths. So this green problem is quite a tricky start. You've got to step on that purple volume at the bottom and try and kick up so you catch your toe on a very small little hold on the other side of that big green hold. And then you've got to hold the tension with your core.
So currently we've come back to Sylvie back on the green problem. So she's visually looking at those holds, trying to figure out her next movement. So bouldering's all about finding those solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jess is just trying something a little bit different here. She didn't like trying to kick her left foot up to catch the start hold, so now she's trying to start from the other side to kick her right foot up. Looks like it might work. She looks like she's laughing at her solution a little bit. It's a pretty tricky start either way you try it. I would probably say that the better way to do it is kicking the left foot onto the other side. And this is where we can see that because the competitors don't get to watch each other, they don't always find the same solutions. Sylvie just doesn't look as comfortable on this swing as a couple of the others did. Might just not be as much her style, but she's definitely progressing and just getting a little bit further each time. Just trying something different again. That's awesome. Really showing her flexibility. That is, wow.
Wow, you Paytex unlucky Jess.
So that was a
hard to know if the
start.
judge would have awarded that, but
I think that showed control. It's just a bit out of the box. That's awesome. Wow.
This is pretty cool. Well done.
Solid effort from Jess.
Unlucky Jess.
A little bit of a tricky one for Sylvie.
So currently coming back out from the Waikato Diocese School for Girls, we have Rena Park.
Yep.
We should have, going back onto the pink, we should have
Amaya Tan Peters starting now.
From Westgate Girls College. Again, multiple body types. So I think this is what I quite like about bouldering.
Yeah, definitely. So Amaya is quite a bit taller actually. She's probably the tallest athlete in this field. So this jump to the side isn't as far for her, but at the same time, if you're taller, you've got longer levers, and that's not always as helpful on different styles of problems. So yeah, it's really cool to see people's different strengths coming out on different boulders. We're seeing that this start is pretty tricky for Rena. She can't quite span those two holds with her hands, so she has to kick her foot in and catch her toe and then engage her core to try and stay on the wall.
So I have observed over...
Oh, nice. Just not quite far. Oh,
can't quite get there.
that was a good attempt. So she's trying to reach her second hand there to show that she's made the start position, which requires her to have 2 points of contact on that hold. So each hand and foot counts as a point of contact. So you can choose whether you put hands or feet on each one. She just made that look really easy. That was really cool. Just worked it out.
It does look very interesting that the different athletes, different body styles, with their problem solving, their solution finding, and from what I believe what I've observed so far, a couple of out of the box start positions.
Absolutely. Oh, super close. It's a really hard move. You've got to be quite flexible and keep your body really close to the wall. And then the last hold, you're basically just trying to catch this pinchy hold, and it has a little bit of a something to catch with your thumb to hold it, but it's a really taxing climb. And we see Rena walking away now. She probably is just conserving energy for the next one and maybe doesn't think she could get as far again. And Maya's still trying to work out this first swing. It's just a really precise move. It takes a lot of time to work out just the perfect body position. She's not quite getting the timing right with her hand and foot catch.
E kitea kaore I te tūohu. So I just noticed that Rena still had 30 seconds left on the clock, and she went back into isolation. So she was fighting the pump. What does fighting the pump?
Yeah, so in climbing, your arms, particularly your forearms, get pumped out, which basically means you get a massive lactic acid build-up from holding onto the holds. And you can also pump out your biceps, and it basically means they just start shutting down, and you can't even bend them anymore. You're so tired. So sometimes if you know that the next climb coming up, such as this yellow one for Jess, if it's also going to be a really maybe bicep heavy climb, and really powerful, then sometimes if you just don't think you can do the climb you're on, you choose to rest instead and conserve energy for the next one. It's a bit of a tactical decision to make.
So currently we have 3 climbers out on our boulder walls. So out on boulder 3 there, we have Jess Young, representing Hutt Valley High School. Rena, oh, I've got this incorrect. Jess Young.
We've got Cara Hicks starting on boulder 1, so she's attempting the swing at the moment. Oh, and just stuck it. Awesome. That was really nicely done. So she got her hips really close to the wall as she was catching those holds. And we have Sylvie on boulder 2 here, still trying to work out catching her feet on those holds. That's a close-up of Jess's hand on boulder 3. As you can see, it's a pretty terrible hold. Really, really small, and you've got to basically crank super hard with your fingers to try and generate some power to push up to the next holds and catch them. What we might see with Cara is once you stick a move, you lock it in really quickly and suddenly you can just repeat it again and again. Which is the amazing thing with climbers, is once they've unlocked something, they just know how to do it, and the muscle memory just locks in.
So as a spectator sports, there is a lot of people in attendance watching that. So currently we have 3 climbers on the wall, and it does make for great spectator view. So for ngā whānau i te kāinga, so for those at home, i matakitaki mai, i whakarongo mai ki te whakaata Māori. For those that are watching and listening on whakaata Māori, he mihi ana ki a koutou katoa. Obviously, whakaata Māori for bringing this live stream free of charge and accessible no matter where you are located. So I do know, and I've seen, if I sneakily to look around the gym at the moment, we have a few parents watching this live stream at the same time. So, ngā mihi ki a koutou katoa. If I wave out to people, possibly people wave back. So we're getting close to be timing out for their attempt time.
That's the end of the 3 minutes. It goes super fast when you're out there. Part of the thing with bouldering is managing your time on the mats and just making sure that you give yourself enough time to have an attempt to get to the top. So coming out on boulder 1, we have Misha Borman from Mount Maunganui College. Then we have Amaya climbing on boulder 2, and she's just made that start look really nice. Pulled on first try. And then on boulder 3 we have Rena doing the really powerful yellow climb. So Amaya is at the high zone right now. She's getting 10 points for that hold, and she's got one more move to go to try and get to the top. Just fallen away from the wall. And Rena's just stuck the first move. So she's gotten 5 points now from this climb. This next move is really tricky, really powerful. You have to drive quite hard off the left foot. You have a long way to go to the next hold.
And in the background, when we saw Rena falling, we could hear the spectators feeling her pain and grief.
Yep, you get pretty emotionally invested watching climbing.
So
Misha
here we have
making this
Misha
look
Borman
easy.
on boulder problem 1. So she's just moved past the first scoring hold, and where her foot currently is a second scoring hold.
This is probably her second, maybe third attempt. So now she's getting 10 points for holding onto this hold, with the top hold to go around the corner. She just needs to get both hands on there and show control. Nice, and that's the top from Misha.
Ka tai te pikinga pai o tērā ia Misha. So some outstanding climbing there, Misha.
It's a good confidence boost too when you get to the top of the first climb with 2 to go.
I suppose a little bit of the psyche there when someone tops out quite early and heads back into isolation there. How does that affect those climbers still in isolation?
Yeah, if you see someone coming back in after 30 seconds, makes you go, oh, they're firing pretty good today. So yeah, that's also another thing, is to not be too affected by maybe what you're hearing from the crowd, because the crowd does give away a little bit whether people are succeeding or not. Yeah, so you've just got to block all of that out and not be too psyched out about it.
I suppose from my limited experience within the climbing community, the resilience and the tenacity that a lot of these climbers have, and I suppose you're one of those people, Sarah, that's very high levels of tenacity where you just don't give up. So a lot of these climbers are just going over and above.
Yeah, it's a sport that actually can't exist without failure, and is everything to do with failing. In order to learn new movements, you have to try something you've never done before, and most of the time you can't do it the first time, so you have to be able to try again and stay in a positive mindset and not get too frustrated, so that you can learn and grow from these new moves that you're trying. So again, in a competition, it's about managing that too. If you can't do something, you just have to try and not be too bothered by it, and be able to carry on and give the next climb a really good shot.
So being introduced into Boulder 1, on our left hand side of the camera there, the introduction of Dixie Whiting from Bouldering College. Currently on the screen there we have Sylvie Malcolm Tate representing Wellington Girls College.
So Sylvie gets the 5 points, I believe on her first attempt. Had a little bit of a different method there where she stretched her foot out to that grey volume and didn't have to go so dynamically. And we're just seeing Dixie trying to work out this swing, trying to work out the best way to generate some momentum and jump across to that pink hold on the right.
So Sylvie's still on the yellow there.
We see that
A tēnā rā koutou. Hoki mai, nau mai whakatau mai rā. So welcome back. So if you're just joining us here, so we are located in Mount Maunganui in the Rocktopia gym. And the event that you have signed up and watching for, you are watching the New Zealand Secondary Schools Climbing Cup. At the moment, on the wall we have our senior females top 8 finalists here. Okay, so I suppose to identify people on our right hand side of the screen, we have from Westlake Girls College, Maya Tam-Peters, and on our left there we have Misha Borman from Mount Maunganui College.
we've actually just missed Grace Hansen on Boulder 1 from Te Aho o Te Kura Pounamu. I think she must have done the whole boulder on her first attempt. She was so quick. So she's come out, got her points and left. Should be a great confidence boost for her. And we just saw Misha get to the top of that green climb. That's the first top we've seen from these women, which is, again, awesome for her. She's topped the first 2 climbs now, so she'll be in the lead at the moment. Now we're just left with Amaya on the mats, just showing that this start is really, really hard. The footholds are super small at the bottom as well, and one of them is actually Dual Tex. It has no texture on it at all. It's just very slippery plastic. And she's just run out of time there, given it everything. Awesome climbing from Amaya. She secured 5 points from that climb.
Okay, so the jury present have registered in a brushing sequence at the moment, so we should only have 2 climbers coming up. Representing Bouldering College, we have Dixie Whiting, and from Maunganui College, who was it? Cara Hicks. So I think down in Boulder Problem 1, the pink there, opportunity for the brushers to... actually, what is the purpose of a brusher?
So the holds get built up with a lot of chalk and rubber, and it makes them really slippery. So the brushes just go in with literally brushes and try and get rid of all of that grime and make them a bit grippier again. So it makes it fair for everyone who's climbing a little bit later, that they're still climbing on relatively fresh holds.
So we have our climbers there with their chalk buckets, trying to take the moisture out of their sweaty hands, put it onto the holds there, and then the brushers come along and try and brush it all off.
Yep, pretty much. Dixie making really good progress on this green. You can see how close she is to that wall and how her shoulders are bending out a bit. It's really strenuous on the upper body. And she's just moving to the last hold. Cara secured that 5 points.
Kata I te piki pai o tērā ia Dixie. So Dixie's just topped out on the green hold.
Great effort from Dixie. She's now got the rest of her minute 30 to rest, and then another 3 minutes after that. So she'll be hitting the yellow and final climb a little bit fresher than some of the others. So
Great to see the brushes there,
Yeah.
actually brushing with purpose and vigour.
Absolutely. Those holds get really dirty really fast. So nice to see them pumping some biceps.
So for those 2 brushes there, they were holding it. So they're from the local climbing club here, the Bay of Plenty Sport Climbing Club, affectionately known as Bobska. So now back to Cara's trying to find those solutions to unlock this boulder problem.
So Cara trying something different now, trying to not use those holds on the right. Maybe she's found something different. Decides it didn't work, so she's trying something different again. Very strenuous climb when you have to be locking your arms off like that. But she'll be giving it everything because it's her last boulder and last opportunity to get some points in the boulder round. Just see that fatigue setting in. She's given it pretty much everything she can. Solid effort from Cara.
Kia koutou ngā kai whakataitai ko ngā wahine toa. So big ups to our female athletes. So while they're moving from isolation out to their boulder problem, so you can actually see Misha and Grace with their backs to the wall. So there's second bells that happen, then they're allowed to observe the wall again.
So Grace has come out on boulder 2. We don't have any climbers anymore on boulder 1 because Grace is the first rank climber, so theoretically she should be doing the best in this round. Misha just sticking that coordination move. Now she's got 10 points for using that hold. Possibly. Now she does. So she's showing control using that hold. 1 move to go to the top. We see Grace getting really close to that top 2, just needs to match. Oh.
Well, on the left, we saw Grace Hansen top out. Unlucky Misha wasn't able to hold hers.
Really nice from Grace though. I think that was first attempt. which gives her the maximum 25 points from the problem. So if you get both hands on the top and show control, that's a top, and that's worth 25 points. The maximum score you can get from the boulder round is 75 points, 25 points from each boulder, 3 boulders. Wow, Misha making that look easy.
Oh, back to your comment earlier about the muscle memory.
Yeah.
You do it once.
Yeah, you tend to just know how to do it again. Sometimes fatigue sets in and you just can't do it again, but Misha's nailed that move. Oh, getting so close to that top, just not quite moving far left enough. She needs to get her weight a little bit more over her left foot and she'll be able to reach far enough to get the top hold. But she's now tried this twice and climbed that whole thing right up to the top hold twice, and I imagine she's feeling pretty tired right now.
Tired, frustrated, probably all of the above?
Yeah, you really want to get it, and we're seeing there just fatigued. She's only got 50 seconds left, so that's not much time to have a rest and get back on the wall. So we see her pull straight back on. Definitely looking a bit more tired in the shoulders, but she's going to keep fighting. Yeah, a little bit pooped, but just keeps trying. That's awesome.
That tenacity that these sport climbers have.
Yeah, super solid effort. It's always great to see climbers fighting to the last moment. She probably emptied the tank there. I think she was pretty gassed.
And then coming up later on, we have the lead climbing where they need to exert even more energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's only one shot at the lead climbing, which we'll see later.
Oh, just a quick shot of our brusher there. I think it might have been a little bit short. Need to extend the brush a little bit more.
That's a nice detail, Roy. Dixie just smiling there at one of her fans in the crowd, looking pretty confident. So Dixie pulling onto her final boulder, last opportunity to get points in the bouldering. Just showing their terrible feet. There's been six climbers on this problem now, so feet are starting to get a little bit grubby, a little bit slippery.
So I suppose the route set have done a great job to ensure that the best movements that we want to see from our athletes there. Yeah,
absolutely. So speaking from the setting team's perspective, we tried to make this third problem the hardest of the 3, which might seem a little bit mean to the viewer, but we really want to challenge these climbers and give them the opportunity to show their grit, and I think we're definitely seeing that from some of them. The whole game is about managing your energy and your focus, and to pull onto this problem being your hardest one of the 3, you've had to make sure you save something for it and you're ready to give it everything. So we didn't expect most of the climbers to get to the top of this, and we want to reward those very top climbers for their efforts, and only making it hard enough that only maybe 1 or 2 of them actually get there all the way to the top.
Yep. Oh wow, not too sure what I wanted to say there, but however, it sounds a little bit strange that we have our route setters wanting to not let them achieve. Are you trying to get, what movement were you trying to achieve there?
If it's too easy and everyone gets maximum points, then we don't get any splitting between the climbers. So if everyone gets 75 points from the bouldering, it doesn't showcase that some of the climbers were better than others, and it doesn't reward them for their fight. So we want to make this a little bit hard for them so that those who are able to really switch it on the day, they get the points that others are not able to get. And we try and give them that opportunity. It's just maybe a little bit hard for them, but often climbers will do better than they've ever done in a competition than they can do in training, because just of that pressure, some people really rise to that challenge.
I suppose if I was alluding to anything, looking at all those yellow holds there, we only have 2 that protrude from the wall quite a lot. The rest are very short or narrow profile. So I suspect that there's more hand strength that's required just for that.
Yeah, so this wall is overhung, which means it kind of looms out towards you. It requires a lot more core tension to keep your body on the wall. They tend to be very powerful climbs on walls like that, so this is a super powerful climb, which means you basically have to generate a lot of power with your upper body. So all of these moves are really big. The holds are pretty far apart. These holds are actually quite hard to hold on to because they're very open-handed. Wow, Grace just cruising that. So this is where we're seeing her being the top seed from yesterday. She's just making this move look a lot easier than some of the other climbers. So she's secured that 10 points on her first try.
So
that's awesome.
For Grace's representing the whole Otakura Pounamu. A gallant first effort, so she'll be going through the process there of unlocking.
Yeah, that was an awesome effort. If I were her, I'd probably just rest for a little bit, and that's exactly what she's doing, just taking a seat, trying to breathe. She knows that she can go that whole way again. She just needs to, let her arms rest a bit, let that pump in the arms just fade a bit. She was about maybe 10 centimetres off that top hold, so she needs to travel a little bit further left next time. Probably means she has to pull a bit harder with her hands, so she'll be thinking about all of that. But she's unlocked these moves now. She knows how to do them. Doesn't mean they're any easier, and they're still pretty tiring, but she's familiar with them at least. Making that look super easy. Oh, yeah, just that fatigue is such a hard problem that you just start getting super pumped, super tired. You often don't breathe on the boulders as well, so you often see climbers coming down puffing a little bit.
Oh, our 1 minute timer coming up there. So Grace, the final minute for our senior females in the New Zealand Secondary Schools Climbing Cup 2024. So Grace Henson, top ranked top qualifier for yesterday. So she'll be the last of our boulder problems. Just achieving her second zone, her point scoring, and unable to.
That was super close. I think that's her last attempt. She'll be exhausted.
So she's indicated to the judge that she's done.
Very good effort though. 2 tops, and falling off the top hold means she gets 25, then 50 points, and then another 10 from that boulder. So.
Okay, now we'll take the opportunity to take a quick break.
Our top rangatahi.
Wow.
Go head to head.
What a that flick pass.
Watch every player,
What a try.
every game, live on Māori Active. Winter Tournament 2024 ki Māori Active.
Pats. Rawe. Peka. Sino pai. Pats. Rawe. Peka. Sino pai. Tai aha.
Ko mōhio koe ki te hanga o te kai kōrero. I runga I te āhua o tana rākau.
Oi. Croc.
Manu kōrero, the makers of rangatira. Mātaki ki te reo me Māori Plus.
Rangatira.
At Apollo Projects, we create better outcomes because we never make any assumptions. Like this sports facility. The client sent out their brief. And when it came to the 4 submissions, we impressed the client with a proposal that went over and above. Because we'd done things differently. We'd pulled together a team of experts, looked around the world for inspiration, and exceeded the client brief. We even brought it in on budget by reducing fees and prioritising function over form. At Apollo, we're more innovative, create specialist project teams, deliver on our promises, and build to the budget. Apollo Projects. No assumptions, better outcomes.
I'm Jason Bill and we farm around the Mid-North. We took a review of our business a couple of years ago, sort of identified challenges that we had. One was profitability, and we'd noticed on our steep hill country we're getting more and more erosion. We looked around to diversify, looked at forestry to plant on our steeper country. For us, it really addressed those concerns. By doing the forest farm model, we feel like we're getting the best of both worlds. And I'm really excited and I really do believe in this model. I think it's the way of the future.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This isn't about long-distance calling, technology, or living overseas.
Do I have one more bid? Thank you. We're going to go one. We're going twice. And we are sold to the Kiwi phone bidder from Manchester.
It's about Bailey's finding buyers that others can't.
Sport is about more than just a game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
Māori Active, streaming live at youtube.com/Whakaata Māori. Subscribe now.
Tēnā rā koutou. E mihi koutou. I ara mai I mai taki I whakarongo mai I te Whakaata Māori. Ko te roimata wiari tōku ingoa. And to my side there I have Sarah Tasliff. So currently we have our males coming out for a viewing.
Yes, yep, so our senior male boys are coming out for the viewing. They're looking at the climbs. Just trying to, they have 2 minutes to try and work out how to do these climbs. So they get to feel the start holds.
He's a character.
He's pretty excited about that. That was awesome. Yeah, so this is an opportunity to discuss with the other competitors how you might do the moves or not. You can keep your ideas to yourself. Most people...
What you're saying that you could put people off and go, I would do it like that. We really, you just play mind games?
Yeah, you 100% could. I don't think it's very sportsmanlike. I've never done that. I have been on the receiving end of that actually once or twice in the maybe 6 years I've competed in bouldering. And you can kind of tell when people are doing it. But for the most part, at this level at least, these guys are just super excited to climb these climbs. Like you can see they're just like they're smiling, they're laughing, they're going, how do you do that? That's going to be so hard. Yeah, so I think they're more excited to climb it and figure out how to do it with each other than actually competing against each other. So climbing is a sport that's very, very individual. It's about you versus the wall. You can't control anything that other people are doing on the wall, so all you can do is focus on your best performance, which is pretty cool, really.
Kia ora, I'd like to take this opportunity here to acknowledge some of the partners that we have here with Climbing New Zealand, the New Zealand Secondary Schools Climbing Cup 2024, Whakaata Māori, Bailey's Real Estate, Caltex, New Zealand Carbon Farming, and Apollo Projects, whose sponsorship enables us to share this event with you and your whānau. So again, a big thank you to Whakaata Māori for bringing this live stream to us all. free of charge and accessible no matter where you are located. So if you're just joining us here, we're located in Mount Maunganui, down the bottom of Mawao, in the local climb gym here. So back into the action, I see our first climber coming out.
So that viewing was over really quickly because they were only looking at this yellow climb. So some of the holds were changed from when the women climbed on it, just to make it slightly harder and suit the men's level a little bit better, so the challenge is a little bit higher for them. But they've already seen the other two problems. So that's why we're getting straight into it with the first climber on this boulder.
Representing Haratonga College.
Aidan Coleman. So their first climb is this green. They don't climb the pink at all. That was purely for the women. So Aidan just trying to work out this tricky toe hook start. If you're not sure what a toe hook is, it sounds like the word. It's where you get your toe, you hook it on a hold. There's a tiny, tiny little green hold around the side of that hold, the big one. And it's about the size of your thumb. And you're trying to pull with your toes, create all this tension in your core to hold yourself onto the wall. It's really hard. There we go. Nice job from Aidan.
So our official judge leading that go is an established...
I'd say there was a pretty marginal start. Normally you can't just tap your hands. You need to really show your control that you're in that start position.
But I suppose with my comment there, we're seeing it from a different perspective. The judges, he's a little bit further around to the Aidan's left. So
it's a nice shot there. Awesome. Nice job from Aidan.
So the boys coming out looking strong in their first qualifying for the day. Again, just a bit of a replay of Aidan moving forward through the problem.
Very shouldery move here, trying to transfer your weight from the left to the right. So this is probably it's definitely the easiest climb of the three boulders that the boys have to do. So I would expect to see quite a few tops on this green. One thing that's going to separate the climbers is how many attempts they take to get into that starting position. So that toe hook start is really, really tricky. It's super easy to step up, kick at it and miss it, and then you're losing 0.1 per attempt. So I think for Aidan, maybe that took 4 attempts, I think, to get into that start position, and once he got it, he was able to get to the top straight away. So he got the maximum 25 points minus the 0.4 from his attempts, makes it 24.6 points for that boulder. So if you get to the top on your first try, you get the maximum 25 points. Slightly confusing, but we'll work out the scores.
So for our whānau at home, what you can't see why there's no one on the wall at the moment. So every climber has 3 minutes for the attempt. Because Aidan was able to complete quite quickly, so hence why there was that slight break. Currently coming out representing Tauranga Boys College, Bailey Arrowsmith.
Once again, the start just really tricky, bamboozling the climbers a little bit. So that was really close.
So even though they had that viewing earlier and they thought that they'd, in their head, how they'd started, they actually come out again and it doesn't look the same.
Exactly. Sometimes you think it'll work, how you've worked it out, and then you try it and it feels awful. So you have to be really adaptive. If what you're trying just isn't going to work, you have to try something different. I think he knows that this is the right method. He was really close before. He just missed that thumb-sized hold around the side of that big green hold he's kicking to. And he's just figured out a way to not even do that hold. So he's done a little bit of a tap start on that big hold, which is perfectly fine. He's established himself on that. So really good thinking from him to miss that movement.
Yeah, so Bailey, he does have a long arm span.
Yep. Definitely helpful for this problem. You can see that those balls are really hard to hold on to. Oh.
So it appeared that he had the hand grip and enough strength there, but then
the feet just slipped. Yep. Probably a combination of those holds getting a little bit dirtier, a little bit slippery, but also he wasn't quite putting the right tension into his feet. So if you're standing on something quite marginal and you're not in the right position, they can just skate off.
So just reconfirming, so we've Bailey on the wall, got the first scoring zone, still with another minute to go on his allocated time for his boulder 1.
Starting to get a little bit tired. Saw a smile from him though, so I think he's still enjoying himself. It's a problem where you can see he's locking off with his arms a lot, no feet at the moment, really taxing on the biceps, really hard to keep repeating these moves. And he's starting to struggle to get his feet up because his arms are just getting a lot more tired. It's not the most secure heel placement, but he's going to make it work. Yeah, and the foot's just come off, so just tired. These are hard moves. Really solid effort from Bailey. He's got the 10 points from that one.
So shortly we're going to back to Bailey on his first attempt again. Again, back to what Sarah had talked about earlier. So we have Aidan Coleman on boulder problem 2. And we should have Zeng Own, from Sacred Heart College on the green boulder. So Zeng Own, apologies to the whānau. A little bit shorter in stature compared to what Bailey was.
Yeah, so that toe hook's a bit harder. Aidan doing really well on this climb so far. So we'll see the difference from the women's climb is that they've removed one of the holds there, so he's now having to grab the underside of that right hand hold, which is pretty difficult, to be honest. It's not very good at all. Lots of leverage in that left hand. Oh, great heel hook he's found there. Oh.
So all of our athletes again. Oh no, so back to Zen.
He did that start really nicely. Found a good solution for his size.
And Aidan shaking out his arms with his shoulders. Quite taxing from his boulder problem 1. And his feet giving away there.
And Zen's just topped the first climb. Got the 25 points from that one. He gets to rest for the remaining minute and a half, which is going to be really helpful for this taxing boulder here. So what we saw was Aidan just asked the brushers to brush those feet holds for him and the start holds because they're getting a bit dirty, a bit slippery. That's also a nice technical thing to do. It forces you to rest a little bit more while other people are brushing the holds for you.
So I suppose I must acknowledge Zane there, ranked 6 from yesterday, being able to top out in the boulder problem 1. So that's got to play in the mindset of the higher ranked climbers to follow him.
Yeah, well, the climbers in isolation would have heard the crowd cheering pretty loudly for these tops now. So they know the climb's been topped at least twice. So that can give you an idea when you're sitting in isolation how difficult the first problem might be. If you're not hearing anything, then you know that people are struggling a little bit on the mats.
So I suppose it's a little bit of that catch-22 where you have the climbers going, yes, I can do this.
Yep.
And then on the other side we have our route setters going, oh gosh.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're waiting in isolation and you're ranked second, and you're hearing all these people topping out, you can't be too psyched out about that if you pull on and you start struggling. You've just got to, not worry about it too much. I've definitely been in that position where I've psyched myself out because I know that everyone has topped it before me.
And the route setters, because they want to do challenging problems, and if everyone starts topping out, yes, if you watch the route setters hard enough, you can see them a little bit upset with themselves.
Yeah.
So being introduced into Boulder Problem 1 from Rotorua Lakes High School, we have Dane Napier. And Boulder Problem 2 there, we have from Tauranga Boys College, Aaron. My apologies that I...
Dane found a different solution there entirely. He was tall enough, he was able to span those moves. Struggling a bit with the feet though. Yeah, just his hips came away from the wall, couldn't hold it. Climbers just resting at the moment. These are hard climbs. Very taxing.
Hard climbs for the top 8 in their category. So it's a New Zealand Secondary Schools competition. So from memory in the senior A's, I think we had a total of 56 competitors registered. So this being the top 8 out of all those climbers nationally. So I suppose from the route setter's point of view, you've got the best of the best. So let's challenge them.
Absolutely. We made this green one a little bit nicer, I want to say, because you want to reward them for getting into the top 8 out of 56. That's a massive achievement. So it's certainly not easy, but it's easier than the next 2. So it gives those who might be ranked 5th to 8th a solid chance to get some points, but they probably wouldn't expect to be topping the next ones. They get pretty hard, and from the route setter's perspective, we hope they only get a couple of tops max. But this is, as shown, still pretty tricky. It's taken a few attempts to get to this point, but a really nice top from Dane. That was really good. Found his own method through the start.
So I suppose I've noticed they're both with the senior females as senior males. A lot of them actually participate on a regular basis in the New Zealand climbing series in the championship. So because they're always competing, we hope at a high level that this seems to be a little bit very comfortable for what they do within the climbing space anyway. So a little bit of a step up from their normal training.
Yeah.
And not to forget, it's a day out of school.
Nice replay there of Dane getting the top. Coming out now on the first boulder, we have Finn Mano-Simpson from Wellington High School. Finn is the 4th ranked climber after qualifiers yesterday. And then we have Zen on the second one and Aiden on the third one. So this is the first climber we're seeing on the third boulder. This is definitely the hardest. Yeah, it's pretty tricky. Nice work there from Zen already into those top moves.
Finn Mano-Simpson on their boulder problem 1. The green problem.
Great hip mobility there from Finn. Zen coming up to the final move. Oh, it's hard to tell, but that second to last yellow hold has no texture on the top. We're seeing a theme here, lots of no texture holds. Very slippery. It's just like holding onto plastic. It's pretty hard to generate any power with your fingers off that. So just not quite getting far enough to that top hold.
With Zane coming off, not quite topping out there, the crowd showing their appreciation with lots of moans and feeling those anxieties for him. Yes, so that's, I suppose the crowd gets very, vocal when they do top out and they achieve it, and they do totally support the climbers when they don't quite make it.
Yeah. You're with them the whole journey. You really want them to get to the top, and you see their progression, and falling off that last move is pretty heartbreaking.
Interesting. I see black tape has been introduced into our problems.
So the black tape means you can't use any holds past the black tape. The route setters have just put that there so the climbers on this problem don't use the yellow holds, basically. They just want them on the black holds.
So all the athletes now within the 1 minute mark there, all having a little break at the moment, shaking out the arms, obviously feeling a little bit of pump there. Obviously Aidan will be, this is his third problem.
Yeah, he'll be getting a little bit tired now. And Finn has got a top on that first problem. Zen's really dialed in these moves now, just making it look super duper easy. You can see that clear plastic there, it's just awful to hold on to. Super slippery. Just needs to go a little bit further left. Oh, centimetres away, nothing in it at all. Really solid effort.
Oh, when he'll be watching the replay, he'll realise it was even less than centimetres than 30 millimetres.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, so talking with his mother a little bit earlier this morning, super proud of him. So we've been introduced with, from Northcote College, Luka Sajimoto Faulkner. So Luka going to the green problem 1. Then we have, it's a Dane. Dane Napier's out there and Bailey Aerosmith. And Tauranga boys. Just a quick look at Bailey as he was heading towards the wall. A big sigh of, don't know if it's relief or anxiety.
Maybe just anticipation.
I suppose all the athletes know that through progression from 1 through to 3, the climbs will get harder. So if they struggled in...
Wow,
unlucky.
Solid effort from Dane. I think he was pretty happy with that. That was really close. He was just falling away from the wall before he moved his hand, so wasn't quite going to make it stick, but he looked really solid up there.
So Dane. Yeah,
Lucas had a pretty quick top on that green. Oh, good catch. Making the most of his length there, getting his left foot across early. Just a little tired. With 1.5 minutes to go, you have probably 1 really good attempt left, maybe 2, but you'd have to do them back to back, so not enough time to rest and recover between.
So Bailey's trying to unlock the problem.
Yeah, he's just showcasing how awful that big grey volume is. There's no holds on it. It's just purely wood with a bit of textured paint on it, and it's not much. Lots of tension required. Those little black holds too are absolutely nothing, basically little texture patches. Here we see Dane again getting that left foot across, really nice way to do that. Pushing himself across, oh awesome. First top on that problem, really nicely done. He kept a lot of tension through his feet, which allowed him to keep his body really close to the wall. Which meant as he went for that last hold, he stayed close to the wall and he wasn't falling away, which made the difference.
So,
last attempt for Bailey. Awesome boulder round.
oh, Finn running out with a little bit of purpose. now we've been introduced to Vok Neil Horman from representing Haratonga College. So I've noticed that there's been quite a few from Haratonga College over the last couple of days. It's great to see what I would have unfortunately seen as not a strong climbing area. But with our athletes coming there,
that was so easy. Wow, 20 seconds to get to the top. That was awesome. Straight back into isolation. Yeah, amazing to see some of these climbers. I've not seen him before at all, and he's just straight up there in second position. So yeah, cool to see so many different areas have really strong climbers, and you can be a good climber from anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Just it depends how you make the most of your facilities and how psyched you are.
Yeah, so I suppose we need to form those relationships if we don't already have them, to encourage them to come onto the national circuit.
Yeah.
And I suppose because I've been sitting in isolation, meeting a lot of these boys that are already on the circuit, forming those relationships and possibly those lifelong bands that are bands, lifelong friends.
100%. A lot of these guys compete in the open climbing competitions as well nationally. Some of them have been on the New Zealand team, so they're right up there, not just for their age group, but in the open adult category, they're great climbers. And just struggling there a little bit to keep the tension. Oh, that's a nice move. He looked pretty tired after that. He'll probably rest, so I would say 20 seconds, wait till that 40 second mark and give it one more good shot. That's all he's got left, really. What's difficult to see on this live stream is that those volumes to the left with the white on them, they're also, they have no texture, that's all slippery stuff as well. So only those little black cookie-shaped holds have any texture to them. So this is a really tensiony climb. And you can just see his feet slipping. It's just a pretty brutal one to finish your round on. Finn's maybe not left himself enough time here. He's going to have to rush these last moves to get to the top. Oh yeah, and he's just not quite got it. Another day maybe, with a bit more rest. Awesome to see so many of these climbers fighting really hard.
And I suppose the best thing that always got a smile on their face, so very surely, I think it's in this round, quite a big character, a big personality.
Yeah.
But I suppose they're always happy when achieving good things.
So we have Luca on the second problem. Wow, that was a strong move. And this is Finlay on his first climb from Northcote College. Getting up there pretty fast, just trying to find the nice balanced position for that top. Easy. So I think 7 of the 8 climbers have gotten the top of the first problem. So pretty much as expected. I just took a few of them, a few more attempts. Maybe 3 or 4 did it on their first attempt, so exactly what we want for a finals round.
Luca in the background there, he's shaking at his arms and his fingers. Oh, so he's on boulder problem 2, okay. Great quick movement through the first couple of moves there.
There's a difficult way to do it from Luca. Oh, wow. Incredibly strong. Maybe a little too powerful of a method. it's so hard to know if the way you're trying to do it is right. Once again, they don't watch anyone else doing it. They have to find out what is the best way to do this for them. As a setter, you're trying to make it so there's only one way to do it, but the climbers are so creative and strong that they sometimes create their own methods, like, for example, what's happening right now on the screen. So Dane didn't like those holds, so he just decided to put his fingers on top of the volume, which is probably 2 millimeters wide. Which is perfectly, you're allowed to do that, it's just a bit brutal.
Yep.
Luke is still trying the same method. It's just really quite a balancy way to do it, quite powerful.
So when you're looking at the screen there, so the two climbers actually looking at their timer clock, located on the right hand side of the screen. So they're just trying to work out in their own head how much rest time could I have before we go up there. So
yeah,
I think they were trying to think about one final amazing effort. And unfortunately, both were unsuccessful in the situation.
Yeah, you've got to weigh up when you're trying it. If you've only got 30 seconds on the clock, is it worth trying something new? Or do you want to keep trying the same method that feels really close, but maybe it's not the right method? You just have no idea. So Dane is sitting in a really good position because he's the only one who's topped the Cielo one with 2 climbers to come on it.
So it is this. The Finn Manu Simpson from Wellington High School on his third boulder problem, third and final for this portion of the competition. And then we should have, I think, Volk Neil Horman from Harotonga College right beside him in number 12. So from memory, Volk probably he was at 20 seconds to do their first problem.
Yep, so he's pretty fresh at the moment. Oh, wow. Just showing how slippery the top of that hold is. You probably have to hit it with both hands opposing between those 2 pie-shaped holds in order to hold it. Oh, so slippery. Finn's given it full effort here.
The appearance that he's very frustrated.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's pretty sometimes disheartening to be not getting that first move sticking, especially when you've looked at the rest of it and you think you can do it or really want to try it. So yeah, just frustrating to not get that first move sticking. Great effort from Fox, so strong. Oh.
Just dipping down with his hips there.
Yeah, he was losing it in his right shoulder, so he was just too low to be reaching up to that final hold. Finn's just asked for a brush on the holds. Everything is just really slippery. Trying to get as much chalk and rubber off those holds will help him stick this a little bit. Folk dialing in these moves. Oh, so nicely done. Just so much shoulder strength. Just body under full tension. He's pretty low, hand slipping. Oh, if his right hand was a little higher, he'd probably be able to reach that last.
And Volk acknowledges the crowd, the spectators there, as he moves back to isolation, followed by
I think Finn got that first zone in the end.
Oh, wow.
He made it across. Last climber on the yellow, Finlay. Still only one top on this problem. So the door is still wide open for anything to happen. Oh, Luca's foot just skating right off that volume.
So Finlay, earlier I talked about someone with a big personality. So if you can recall yesterday from the speed climbing semi-finals, Finlay thought it would be quite a bit of a trick, and he stopped the stop pad with his foot.
Oh, that's nice. Wow. That was amazing. That's really difficult, the way he just did that. Holy. He just bumped both his hands across at the same time to catch in a compression, which requires incredible precision. Whatever works. That was really cool. So 2 tops on the yellow. Not to pat us on the back, but that's pretty ideal. So precise. Just bumping both hands across.
Oh, Luca.
Luca looking quite solid on this. It's a very, very bouncy movement on this. The wall is 5 degrees overhanging. With that volume, it's pretty much vertical. So much tension going through your toes, and you're really not standing on much at all. And it doesn't look as impressive as those yellow moves, but I would say you're taxing yourself just as much. You're just leveraging so much off your hands underneath those volumes and pushing so hard into your feet. You are holding your breath a lot.
Luca looking at their boulder problem 3, thinking, where are our holes? Like Sarah had said earlier, it just looked like a little bit of paint with a bit of texture in it.
I will say the setters can't actually do this climb. We decided that we wanted to give them something really challenging and see what they could do with it. So that's well beyond our ability, but we think that they would be really, really close to this.
So unfortunately for Luca, I don't believe he would have awarded that zone or the points there in that space.
I think he's pretty happy with that. That was a really good effort. He got the 5 points from the first zone.
No, I don't think he had enough control. So I think
I'm not sure then, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's more of a touch and move forward. So
right.
So over here we have Volk Orman from Heretaunga College.
It's so slippery. Just sliding straight off the hold. So he's the only climber on the mat now. We're all finished with the first and second boulders. Oh, strong. Oh. So with these moves, you just want to try and keep your hips as close to the wall as you can. Shaking his head.
Yep, a little bit of disbelief and a bit of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Great to see that athletes are able to turn around and ask for a brusher, and
they're right there.
And it's both of our route setters, or 2 of our route setters, right there to help brush it. Volk doing well.
It's quite hard too to jump on a problem like this after the yellow. The yellow was pretty fast paced, I want to say. And this is just all balance, small holds. Quite hard to work out. So you feel a little bit rushed only having your 3 minutes, but you can't move too fast or your hips just come out from the wall and you're falling off straight away.
Yeah, so currently we only have one climb round in Boulder 3. And I suspect
That start move just doesn't get any easier. Wow.
So unfortunately we're unable to see the live scoring to see where everyone's sitting at the moment. I suppose that's what the National Climbing New Zealand Federation, the NSO, the National Sporting Organisations, needs to start moving towards having that ability.
Yeah,
but at the moment we're sitting at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Climbing Cup 2024, located here in Mount Maunganui, Tauranga Moana.
I believe that Finlay will be in the lead with 2 tops, and then Dane Napier second, just based on attempts. Dane took a few more attempts for both of his tops, but they're the only 2 with 2 tops. And Falk just not quite going to get this one. Just running out of time.
Yeah, unfortunately,
great effort though.
He's timed out.
Climbing right to the last second is awesome.
So the final climber for the senior males, Finlay Kate, taking on the Boulder Problem 3s. So Finlay's from Northcote College, and he sucks in those bigger ones before he takes to the wall.
So in this format, your score from bouldering gets combined with your score from the lead climb that they'll do after this. So Finlay's already in the lead, but if he could get some more points on this climb, then it'll put him in a really good position before even starting the lead, because he'll have a lot more points. And we're just watching him change his shoes. So climbing shoes are made of rubber, as you can see, and some are they're made of really stiff rubber, and some are made of really soft rubber. So soft rubber is super bendy and is better for standing on little holds like this. So I would say he's just put on softer shoes so they can bend a lot more, and by bending he can get a bit more surface area of his shoes on the holds, so then they stick a little bit better. So yeah, and we can see him already, he's progressing a little bit further just by having those different shoes on. So I think it takes a pretty experienced climber to be able to comfortably make that decision to swap your shoes, because it does take time, and you've only got 3 minutes, so you have to be able to not be stressed out by losing that time doing that. I think Finlay's enjoying himself on this.
And I suppose earlier you made the point there, the strategy of using the brusher just forces you to have that little longer of a break.
Yeah, 100%. He could have asked the brushes to brush the holds for him instead, but sometimes it's nice to brush your own holds so you know that they're getting brushed enough.
Or dare I
Not
say
that the
properly.
brushes don't do a good job, but yeah. Just power posing there, manifesting the top.
Yes, possibly he's found that solution to unlock the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, previous to the others, he's actually taken a lower stance.
Yeah, and it actually gave him the right balance point there. Oh. I think he just whacked his knee pretty bad there.
So I don't think anyone's scored on that climb. So that's the end of our senior males portion of the bouldering.
Super staunch round. No tops on the black, 7 tops on the green and 2 tops on the yellow. So I think the field is already quite split, which is awesome leading into the lead round.
With our spectators still glued to the performance of our finalists. E mihi tēnei ki ngā ki te Whakaata Māori, Baileys, Celtics, New Zealand Carbon Farming and Apollo Projects, who partners us with this hosting of this event. And also to our other partnership of Rocktopia here in Climbing New Zealand. But we'll take an opportunity now to take a quick break and we'll be back shortly.
Get the Māori Plus app. Download now on Google Play or the App Store with exclusive viewings and 100% ad-free.
Quite like top tier.
Watch us anywhere, anytime. Make Māori Plus your mate and stream now.
This is a solid region, I reckon.
They're the OGs.
It's a banger.
Make Māori Plus your mate. Download the app today.
At Apollo Projects, we create better outcomes because we never make any assumptions. Take this for example. This wine turret doesn't look very well designed. So we called the tank manufacturer to check. We asked, why is the turret away from the side of the tank? They said, because it's always been that way. So we had to think. What if the turret was next to the catwalk? Sounds good. So that's what we did. Now the wine turret is better designed, better value, easier to use, and safer. I think that deserves a toast. Apollo Projects. No assumptions, better outcomes.
No skeleton, got nothing to hide.
It's a great stirrer.
It's trepidation, anticipation.
She's a game changer. Come celebrate the stories of our Māori heroes. Whakanui.
Lots of celebrations, so many laughs. It's going to be amazing.
I'm a bit of a fan.
Tough.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the stories from the St. Joe's days.
Oh, she is the sweetest person and also one of the most scary people I've ever met. Yeah.
Uncle? He's the man.
The biggest fan base is 50-plus-year-old Pākehā woman.
No, That's not true.
Bring it on.
Whakanui. Te whakapahoa kia na ki whakaata Māori me Māori Plus.
I'm Trevor Johnson and I'm a sheep and beef farmer from the Forgotten World Highway. Some of the country we bought was quite steep and difficult. We have pushed those blocks to pine trees, 1,000 hectares into forest and 7,000 hectares will stay in grazing. To me, it's just the best use of land. If you've got land that is not so productive, it's a marvellous way of increasing your income.
gentle with it. Guess your cards till you show me. You a royal flush, got me folding. Before I was sitting on the sidelines. Now every moment with you is my favorite highlight. And when you by my side, I'm always winning. Had me up by touchdown from the beginning. Oh, look like a million touch, so priceless. Big 10, no cap, you the finest. The summer love don't fade like a tattoo. Forever's on enough time to be ready. Just sweet, you spice, you movie. You pay, you pound, you a beauty. The summer love don't fade like a tattoo. Forever's on enough time to be ready. You can change your room just like that. Girl, you got no contest. What you want, you get express, no stress. Thank the Lord, you know you so blessed. You got me so obsessed. There ain't a moment I ain't thinking about you. The feelings when you're hitting, no, I won't sleep. Forever love is together, whenever long. When you're by my side, yeah, I'm winning. Head in the clouds, so high, got me singing. Look like a million touch, so priceless. Big 10, no cap, you the finest. The summer love don't fade like a tattoo. Forever's on enough time to be ready. Just sweet, you spice, you movie. You pay, you pound, you a beauty. The summer love don't fade like a tattoo. Forever's on enough time to be ready.
To all the doubters, to those who don't believe, this is the hour. You'll see, they will make ladders out of obstacles and stepping stones from roadblocks. Leap over the lines to say we won't cross. We'll trick canyons like they're nothing. They won't see us coming. Scale all of the walls they built to hold us. We may be invisible, but we'll be unmistakable. We may be invisible. They may be blind to me, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. To all the haters, those filled with jealousy, the naysayers, payers for defeat. But we'll make ladders out of obstacles and stepping stones from roadblocks. Leap over the lines to say we won't cross. We'll trick canyons like they're nothing. They won't see us coming. Scale all of the walls they built to hold us. We may be invisible, but we'll be unmistakable. We may be invisible. They may be blind to me, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see.
Last time I warned y'all, now this time I'm just sending shots. Thought that I was some yes man, I'm about to show y'all that I'm really not. Me and mine was really on the bottom, now we way up at the tippy top. No bull, unless we talking flipping stocks. Don't mess around or you getting got. Can't see through it cause it's tinted out. Yeah, ooh, I'm on the way. Game time, who wanna play? I showed up just to ruin your day. Count my green till I'm blue in the face. I don't wanna talk, please give me my space. About to go ghost till I give me my rave. Blow too fast, can't get with my pace. I'm a spaz on as soon as Quentin give me that bass. Boom, 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 boom. One out of smoke like a chimney. It's my turn like I'm Timmy. I pity y'all boys, think y'all big Mickey, y'all mini. I'm your favorite writer's writer. I'm on fire. I leave everybody retire. My team the only people I admire. My empire only second to Messiah. That's no boast. You don't wanna get too close. I explode with every single line I spoke. Remember when they laughed at me like I'm a joke? Now I control the master lines they quote. Haters talk now. Everybody quiet. Though surprised to see that I can go as high as I can go. Told you a long time ago that I'm. Wait a minute. What? I should. You lucky I don't. Never fall back. We will stay right where we at. We never fall back. Yeah. We never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We never fall back. We never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We never fall back. Come up with a game plan. Double XL up in the pen, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man. Moving too quick, keep the cameras in the playback. Dang, tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Lay it on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. No lies, no facts. We will stay right where we at. We never fall back. Yeah. We never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We never fall back. We never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We never fall back. Been way down, never vaulted. Came with the hands out, get them off us. I'm 24/7 in the office. Pay attention cause I ain't repeating offers. Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Here for whatever you bring me, getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need to hassle.
This isn't an ad about four-wheel drives. It's about knowing the place, as well as the locals.
You found the place. That's a good start. Built by my great-grandfather 20 years ago.
I'm Trevor Johnson and I'm a sheep and beef farmer from the Forgotten World Highway. Some of the country we bought was quite steep and difficult. We have pushed those blocks to pine trees. 1,000 hectares into forest and 7,000 hectares will stay in grazing. To me, it's just the best use of land. If you've got land that is not so productive, it's a marvellous way of increasing your income.
Morena, beautiful people.
Look at me! Look at it!
Whoa.
Hee-haw! Hee-haw!
Bang. Too much.
Sounds ominous. Keep our kaumatua cool.
Oh, you went all the way to the KKK, eh?
No.
Hurry up.
Okay. Make Māori Plus your mate. Download the app today.
No time to fluff around today? No worries. Just swing into Caltex and pay for fuel with Pay an App to speed on through. Ooh, yeah. Feels good. Use it at your local participating Caltex.
Check this out.
Our top rangatahi.
Wow.
Go head to head.
What are that flick pass?
Watch every player
What a try!
Every game live on Māori Active. Winter Tournament 2024 ki Māori Active.
A tēnā rā koutou, i tai mai mātou i te whakataitai piki toka, nau mai whakatau mai rā i te whānau i matakitaki i whakarongo mai, ki tēnei pāpahotanga i a whakaata Māori, kei te mihi nui kia koutou katoa. So for those that are just joining us, my name is Te Roi Matarangi, and beside me I have Sarah Tetzlaff, who will be providing the expertise as the subject matter expert. So up there on the screen we just flicked up, so that's from yesterday. Julian is the other Olympian within New Zealand. So Sarah beside me is the other Olympian that recently competed at the Olympics in Paris 2024. So yesterday on day one we were able to watch the qualifiers and the finals of the speed climbing down at Blake Park, Bay Oval, and today we've just finished our boulder competition and now we're heading into the lead. So yesterday the athletes were able to compete in a top rope portion, and we're getting our athletes presented to us, and they're going into a viewing pattern. So I'll let you take over here, Sarah.
So the climbers have one lead climb each. So the girls are on the right here looking at this orange climb. The boys are on the left looking at another orange climb. And they have 6 minutes to look at this climb and try and work out all the moves and plan out their route on how they're going to get as high as they can. So just like the bouldering, they can talk to each other if they want. They can try and problem solve the bits that look tricky from the ground. Ultimately, it's just about working it out. They've not seen this climb before. It'll have moves in it that they've done before that are similar, but it's a brand new route for all of them.
So just to confirm, so from yesterday they qualified on the top rope. So top rope refers to having their anchor point above them, with the belayer able to safely secure them and catch and hold them. So this one is more of the lead competition. So shortly we will get a view of the pitches, and we'll have the ropes hanging down. There we go. So there's a blue rope just on the left hand side. So the difference here with lead climbing, that we are able to, they secure themselves as they go up, as opposed to the top rope where you are secured at the top. So for those that have never seen lead climbing before, it's quite a special portion of the sport of sport climbing here in New Zealand and throughout the world.
So this is the official competition format for lead climbing. The top roping is done normally for junior categories. So the climber starts with the rope tied into their harness. They have to tie their own knot, and it has to be the official re-threaded figure 8 knot with a stopper knot. And the judge has to make sure that they've done the right knot. And then you can see that there's ropes that are set up currently that are clipped through the clips on the way up the wall. These are called quick draws, but we'll probably call them clips. And this is the official line that they have to take all the way up. So we're looking at the rope here, it's trailing through all those clips. They have to clip every single clip on their way up in order. If you miss a clip and you clip the next one, the judge will call you down because you have to clip every clip. The reason you are clipping in is because each clip is your, your secure point. So when a climber falls off because they can't do the next move, we'll see they take quite a big fall. So the clips are there for your safety. They're relatively close together, about 1 metre apart, so that if you fell, you might only take a 3 or 4 metre fall, whereas if you're quite far from your last clip, you can take a pretty big fall. So they're there for safety mostly. So if you skip one, you get called down because it's a big safety issue.
So if you can see in the back, because it is the lead climbing, they only have one climb to climb. And currently, so when we look at it on the left hand side, we'll have our male athletes, our senior males, and on our right side, as per the screen, it's all our females. Both are climbing on the yellow holds.
Orange holds.
Oh, my bad. I looked at orange and I said yellow. So thank you for that, Sarah.
Happens to the best of us. So the viewing period is finished now. All the climbers head back into isolation, and shortly they'll bring out the 8th ranked climbers for the male and female competitors, and they'll climb at the same time on different routes. So for the women, that'll be Jess Young, and for the men, that will be Aidan Coleman.
So at the moment, so what we can see there on our screens, we have each climber will have a belayer. So they will be the ones holding the safety lines to ensure that our athletes are in full arrest, so they will be caught and held and lowered to the ground once they do fall. So first up, shortly, we should have, these are the same athletes that competed in the boulder in the earlier session. Because it is a combination format, I'll let Sarah explain that.
So for the bouldering, the climbers had 3 boulders, and the maximum points they could get from each boulder is 25 points. So a perfect score in bouldering would be 75 points. That is then combined with your points that you get from the lead climb. The scoring on the lead is done for each hold that you get. So each hold is worth a certain amount of points. The way the holds are scored is exponential. So the first few holds, for example, are worth 3 points, and then 6, and then 10, and then 14. Whereas the holds at the top are 63, 69, and then 75. So it rewards people who get higher up on the route, basically, where each hold is worth an extra 6 points. So the aim of the lead is just to get as high as you can, really, and if you get to the top, then you get 75 points from that. And then the overall standings are decided by combining the boulder and the lead scores. Person with the highest score wins.
So before we get into the action, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. First, a big thank you to Whakaata Māori for bringing this live stream to us all, free of charge and accessible to no matter where you are located. We're also grateful for the support of Whakaata Māori, the Bailey's Real Estate, Caltex, New Zealand Carbon Farming and Apollo Projects. Those sponsors whose sponsorship enables us to share this event with you and your whānau. And finally, we'd like to thank Te Tauta Whiri for the valuable mahi they are doing to support Te Reo Māori commentary and development. Ngā mihi nui, kia koutou katoa, for your support truly makes a difference. So again, our first athlete, so yesterday they ranked 8th in both of their grades, so for the senior females, representing Hutt Valley High School, Jess Young, and over in the males from Heretaunga College, we have Aidan Coleman. So very shortly, they'll get a thumbs up for their judges, where they will then proceed their climb. So Jess there moving up her first couple of movements there, so there's some very big orange holds there. And Jess attempting to make the first climb. Unfortunately, she can't reach the first one at this stage.
So Jess currently ranked 8th after the boulder round with 4.5 points. Just made the first clip, so now she's secure. If she falls, she will be caught with that clip.
Over with Aidan Coleman from Heretaunga College.
Aiden is currently ranked 7th with 29.8 points after the boulder round.
So earlier we talked about having the orange holds as their climb. You'll notice that on the screen there's a few other different coloured holds. The athletes have been advised if you weight those other colours, they will be cooled down. So orange is the only colour that they're allowed to utilise, which makes it interesting. So hopefully then all the clips are visible for them as they progress up the climbs to help them. So with the split screen here, so Jess is getting quite close to the roof. So here in Rocktopia, we have quite a short sidewalls to achieve the 15 metres that is required for a climbing route. So very shortly, hopefully both athletes will be on the underhand.
So the hold that Jess is on right now is worth 22 points. So she's just coming up to halfway on this route now. Oh.
So dropping out of shot there, Jess, and yes, she was caught and descended to the ground nice and safely with deliberate actions. So there's Jess in the front, in the camera shot there, and Aiden's still moving towards there.
So Aiden is on a hold with 17 points right now. This is a pretty staunch part of the route. You're almost horizontal. So a lot of body tension required here, lots of core strength. As you can see, you have to be really technical with your feet as well. He's just deciding to get that clip before moving to the next hold because he thinks maybe he won't be able to get the clip from the next holds because they're quite bad. I think he's fighting quite a bit now, but he's staying really composed. Ooh, trying to swing the toe across to catch it. Oh yeah. Great effort. Good fighting there. Tried a lot of different methods and was just getting a bit tired. So Jess will score 22.1 points from her climb, and Aiden will score 23.1 points. So if an athlete is moving towards the next hold as they fall, they get an extra 0.1 for that effort. Whereas if they're holding onto a hold and then they fall off without moving to the next hold, they don't get the 0.1. We normally call that a plus, meaning that they've attempted to move off the hold they're on. So sometimes the final scores, all of those 0.1s can end up deciding the podium. So it's important to just, even if you think you're going to fall off, just try and travel to that next hold and give it your best shot.
So what we saw for Aiden there, so his arms were quite pumped, obviously, in the B layer. His safety actually jumped in there to help undo the knot for Aiden. So very shortly we should have the next two athletes coming out. So our first one coming out there from Waikato Diocese School for Girls, Arena Park. And then we have Bailey Arrowsmith representing Tauranga Boys College. So both on the walls straight away. So what the person below Bailey is actually trying to achieve, because Bailey could have got a couple of meters off the ground, so really he was he had no protections if he had fallen. So the idea is for the B layer just to soften the fall.
If they fell.
So we always think safety first, especially for our rangatahi that that choose to do sport climbing here in Aotearoa.
Bailey moving really fast through this route. So in lead climbing, the first part of your body to get tired are your forearms. So a lot of climbers tend to climb with quite a fast tempo, just to minimize that pump that you get in the forearms. That was a nice knee placement there from Rena. Sometimes it's too high to get your foot up, so a knee will do. You can use every part of your body in climbing. Bailey looking pretty comfortable on the 17-point hold right now. Just choosing to rest here and chalk up before he hits the pretty difficult, pumpy section.
Yes, he is moving rather quick.
The climbers have 6 minutes to get to the top of this climb. As Roy mentioned, it's quite a short wall, so most climbers wouldn't use the 6 minutes for this climbing gym, but yeah, 6 minutes is a long time to be on the wall, to be honest.
So for all of us older climbers out there, there is still an opportunity and chance to join this. We're never too old. So I had mentioned earlier to someone that at some stage Sarah was actually my coach. I had heard that I was one of the problem students that she had at the time. But I think it made me a better person under her tutelage.
Roy was a great student, very receptive to feedback.
And a lot of feedback was required.
Oh, great fighting from Rena. Wow, awesome. Just really fighting. You can see that her body's starting to sag as she gets tired.
Oh, knee bar in there.
Yeah, that's a great technique there. So she's basically wedged her knee against the hold. It's a great way to rest and take some of the weight of your body off your arms.
Reaching through. Pulling the right
She's
foot.
currently on the 46-point hold. Just tried to clip, but feeling pretty tired now. Oh, fighting so hard. Wow. Oh, that was really impressive. Awesome climbing from Rena. She'll get 57 points from that, I believe.
Ka pai korua, tokorua, Bailey rau ko Rena, kei te mihi ka koru, ko uti o a korua mahi mo tēnei wahanga. So at the moment we've finished there. So Rena, obviously she hasn't got that much pump in her hands, able to untie herself. And now she, because her climbing is done for the day, she'll go back to her schoolmates. Oh, now making comments that they are a little bit sore. So
looks like she gave it everything. That was really cool to see.
So yes, she is talking to her schoolmates, her college mates, plus her climbing gym, her sports gym's members. So great to see that there. Okay, just a short thank you to Whakaata Māori, Bailey's, Celtics, New Zealand Carbon Farming and Apollo Projects. Also with our other partners that help us run this event, the Climbing New Zealand event, along with New Zealand secondary schools. I'd like to acknowledge Rocktopia, the venue hosts for today. And a special thank you and acknowledgement to Local Gecko, helped us to live stream today. So coming out right now for the males, we should have Zen O from Sacred Heart College in Auckland and Sylvie Malcolm Tate from Wellington Girls College.
Sylvie sitting in 7th after the boulder round with 5 points scored from that. she'll have to get pretty high up on this lead route to improve her position. And Zane has 34.4 points after the bouldering, sitting in 6th. This part of the lead route that for the men's route is what we call a slab, where the wall is a bit less than vertical. As a result, the route setters have put quite small holds on this part of the climb, so it's just really off balance and is kind of designed to just freak you out just a little bit, make you feel a little bit insecure on the wall. So it's not necessarily super duper hard, it's a little bit psychological to start off with. And this the start for the women is just very bouldery. Another knee on that hold, very nice.
So yesterday during the qualifiers, I noted that there were no black or blue tape. So with the final, with the bouldering, I see that there was black tape out, and I see that there's blue instead on here. So that just limits the amount that the climbers can't utilise anything outside the blue tape. Zen taking his time here.
Both the climbers know that the routes are about to get pretty hard, so it's nice to just find your rhythm before you get into the hard section so you can hit it with a good tempo and a good mindset.
I'm not too sure if you're allowed to tell us, Sarah, but what grade were these climbs set to?
It's pretty hard to grade competition routes, actually. I actually really have no idea. Hard. Maybe 28 at the top. Oh, incredible. Amazing work from Zen. Wow. Awesome use of his feet. That's so much tension going through there. Wow.
Now he'll be looking to clip in. So he's actually 2 more clips away from unlucky.
Solid effort. That was awesome.
The unfortunate commentator curse. So my apologies to him. And Sylvie falling. So I think for the whānau at home, our spectators being able to watch this, even though Sarah had talked about very hard to gauge what level or grade, so just quietly I'd overseen that our males probably sitting at a grade 28.
They get progressively harder, so it's not a 28 off the ground. The idea is that people get spat off the wall at different points, so you get a nice split in the scores, and the better climbers make it further. So yeah, so they probably start 3 or 4 grades easier than that off the ground.
So some of these athletes, as they start moving towards the crowd there, almost look relieved. Their arms, just to my side here, I can see his arms are very pumped, but he seems very happy. Exhausted, but very happy. So there's just a small break while the next climbers should have been tied in by now. And shortly they will come out. And here comes our first 2 climbers here. So from Westgate Girls College, we have Amaya Tan Peters. And for our males, from Rotorua Lakes High School, Dane Napier.
So Dane's sitting in a really good position after the bouldering and second with 49.4 points. And Amaya is sitting in 6th after bouldering with 15 points.
So Amaya receiving quite some encouragement from the gallery. So something that's that they encourage within sport climbing is to give encouragement, not instruction. So you will hear as they progress through certain stages that their level of encouragement at times can be very deafening, which is great. I do believe athletes do feed on their energy. So
See, Dane has a much slower tempo on this climb compared to a couple of the other climbers.
Oh, straight into 2 clips there.
If you can double clip, it's a nice way to save a bit of energy. Clipping off good holds versus worse ones are all technical decisions you have to make on the fly as you're climbing up the wall. See Maya not looking super comfortable on that hold. Oh, nice, moved through it well. Dane into the pumpy, powerful section now. Kind of a no going back place. Oh, nicely done. He's using his feet pretty well, finding lots of options for heel hooks and toe hooks. It's a big move. Oh, awesome fall. Great commitment there.
I would have used great catch.
Yeah, that was an awesome catch from the B-layer.
So I suppose for not only with our rangatahi, but the climbing community as a whole, because of a high-risk leisure sport, safety should always be paramount when we're climbing.
Amaya just in a little bit of a dodgy position right now. She's found herself a knee bar off nothing, which is amazing. Her leg's not in a great position right now if she fell. Just trying to work out where to go next. Yeah, nicely taken by the B-layer, great catch.
Oh, Namaya's legs a little bit sore, as Sarah said. Precarious position.
Maybe a little bit of rope burn, but nothing these climbers can't handle, just another day in the office.
For a second then, I thought she was more concerned that she might have ripped her pants. So the B-layer helping Amaya untie. Yeah, she does seem to be in quite a bit of discomfort there. So those two climbers that have just finished there, so that's the end of the competition, and they'll just be waiting pending announcement.
Just a little scoring update. I've only done this on paper, so it's not super duper accurate. It's pretty close. For the women, we have Rena leading with 96.3 points, then Amaya with 56 points, and then Sylvie with 31 points, and Jess with 26.6 points. The top 4 climbers are still to come, but those are the current scores. And then for the men, we have Dane with 97.4 points in first, Zen with 82.5, Aiden with 52.9, and Bailey with 37.5.
So currently on picture there, we have Cara Hicks representing Mount Maunganui College. And for our male that have come out, it's Finn Mano Simpson from Wellington High School. And they were ranked 4th.
Cara has 34.3 points after the bouldering, and Finn has 34.5 points after the bouldering.
So just help me out there, Sarah. Is lower the number better or the higher?
Higher the number is better. So every hold is worth a certain amount of points, and that increases as you climb up the wall. So the higher you get on this route, the more points you're going to get from it.
So in the background here, we can hear the encouragement levels have risen slightly.
So even though the climbers have to do boulder and lead, some are better at one discipline than the other, or specialists. I think Finn would probably call himself maybe not a lead specialist, but I believe it's his more favoured discipline. So you tend to see people maybe score quite a bit higher in one discipline than the other, depending on what they're good at. Ideally, the best competitor will be the person who is really good at both disciplines.
So this is run off the IFSC combination. IFSC is short for International Federation of Sport Climbing. So they're the international governing body. So here in New Zealand, we have the Climbing New Zealand, which is a national sporting organisation. So in partnership, we are part of the Oceania Sport Climbing. And yeah, I think everyone's purpose and what we want to achieve is to enable pathways for our rangatahi. So Cara has fallen, while Finn is still heading towards.
Finn using his feet so well, just getting really nice placements in there. If you can keep your feet on, you're using a bit less energy. He's choosing to go really statically to these holds. Nice heel hook there. It's not the most comfortable hold to be on. It's not quite wide enough for a hand and a foot like that. So he's trying to get it done fast. And yeah, unfortunately just seeing him fall there.
He was disappointed in himself.
It just slipped off. I think he could have gone a little bit further. But still 48 points from that hold. Getting that high. Cara falling with 41 points. Just looked like she went up to the next hole with the wrong hand and was a little bit stuck. So sometimes mistakes happen, like feet slipping off or not reading the route correctly and doing the wrong thing and then not being able to correct it and be in the right position. So lead climbing can be pretty heartbreaking, where sometimes you just don't get to climb to your maximum ability and a simple mistake can see you falling. But that's the nature of it, is that it rewards the people who can execute their planned route to perfection.
So Finn obviously pumped at the moment. He's getting a bit of help there to undo it. So further back in the picture there, you see two of our ladies there. So what we've done there, we have a head route judge, so the route judge, and they have an aspiring judge beside them, one for learning and the other is to confirm that both of them come up with the same scoring. Because it can be very important that we get our decisions right. So, yes, there is a human element when we're judging and as climbers, but if we can minimise and more accurately get what the athletes have achieved, I believe we can get a better consistent brand. So very shortly we should have some more athletes coming out.
Sakara has ended her round with 75.3 points, which currently places her second behind Renner with 96.3 points. And Finn has 82.5 points, which places him second behind Dane with 97.4 points. So 3 climbers to come for both the male and female.
So currently we're seeing Misha Borman from Maunganui College, obviously a local, in her local gym, and now we're seeing Luka Ikimoto Faulkner from Northcote College.
Luca sitting in third after his boulder round with 34.7 points. He'll need to climb pretty high to get on the podium for this route. And Misha had a great boulder round with 59 points, putting her in second. I'm sure she'd still like to put some distance between herself and the other climbers with a high point on this route.
So yesterday, Misha taking out the senior females speed climbing component. So maybe she's looking for the double.
Maybe.
As long as it's not the commentator.
Luca just feeling it right now, nodding to himself and the crowd. Maybe it's his favourite song. Misha moving nicely through there, getting a heel hook on their orange hold. Both the climbers about to hit the roof section where it gets pretty overhung. It's always nice to just take a little moment to compose yourself before hitting hard moves. Misha wrestling with their undercling. It's not super positive and the feet are quite low down.
Luca making another successful clip.
Luca looking quite comfortable in this roof. Oh, Misha fighting. She's really grappling with those holds. Looking pretty tired. A good fight. It's going to be hard to match her hands there, I think. Oh, awesome. Solid effort. Luca got a really nice double heel hook happening there. It's a great way to take weight off your hands and pull yourself into the wall. Looked like he was a bit tired suddenly.
Yeah.
Not sure what happened there actually. He just kind of jumped for the next hold just to get that point one. But he was looking really comfortable up to that point, so an interesting decision.
So look, if you watch Luca climb, normal climbs was quite a bit more conviction than that was. We almost thought, I'm pumped. I've had enough for the weekend.
Yeah, sometimes you feel fine and then in 5 seconds you can feel awful and your arms can be so pumped that you can't even close your fingers anymore, and maybe it just hit him really hard and he just went for that extra 0.1 that he could get.
Just from the last few shots here, it seemed that the high performance speed team focused on in there. So not only are they specialists in speed climbing, like the person beside me and yesterday's commentator, multi-skilled, multi-talented, effectively an amazing sport climbing community. So while we wait there, so we're grateful for the support of Whakaata Māori, Bailey's Real Estate, Caltex, New Zealand Carbon Farming and Apollo Projects. I'd like to also acknowledge La Sportiva for their continued sponsorship with Climbing New Zealand, Black Diamond. And out come our next athletes there. So at the moment we are looking at Falk Neil Horman from Heretonga College.
So after those last climbers, Misha has 105.1 points, which guarantees her a spot on the podium. So she's had an incredible effort there with her lead climb. Unfortunately, Luca enters around with 61.8 points, which is not going to be enough for the podium.
And who we're seeing right now is we have Dixie Whiting from Barradine College.
So we see the climbers sometimes put the rope in their mouth. They do that, I guess you can call it taking a bite out of the rope. So it's a way to pull some rope out and then you put it in your mouth to hold it in that place, and then you can pull more rope out. So you can end up pulling maybe a metre of rope out so you can pull enough out to get it to the next clip. So you'll see Falk doing that just there.
So I suppose with these athletes here, both sporting, well, it's not sporting, utilising two brand new ropes. So for hygiene wise, it's probably a good choice at the moment.
Just see Falk not quite in a comfortable position there for clipping. So he's chosen to drop the rope, climb a bit higher, and then re-clip again, which is just a nice way to mitigate a little bit of risk. Say Falk's not looking super duper comfortable on this route. Not quite finding the right moves and just having to retry something different, but still staying really composed. Dixie looking pretty composed too on her route. Just a lot of hard moves really in a row. Nice. Falk looking really strong through the roof. He looks really quite comfortable on those holds. He's got his feet in really good positions. Dixie stepping nicely into that undercling. Suddenly not looking comfortable though. Oh, good fighting from Dixie. Oh, really good fighting from Dixie.
Oh, and both have taken a fall at the moment. What number is it? 48? So, I can't be sure. So, what I'm just trying to look at, because Sarah, she's quite diligent there. She is actually manually writing down everyone's scores, because that's how she rolls.
Just trying to work it out on the fly to keep everyone updated.
Yeah, so we're just talking about what scoring they were given. would be given. And unfortunately I let Sarah down because I wasn't paying attention. So both have untied now and they'll be heading back. So shortly we will be presented with the last two climbers. So yesterday they were ranked first in both their grades, senior female, senior male.
That was a really good fight from Dixie. It looked like she was pretty tired, and it came on really quickly, so it's really hard as soon as it happens to just stay on the wall. So she got a couple more extra holds than it looked like she could, so a great fight. Currently sitting in third with 95.5 points, so it's going to depend on how Grace goes if she'll be on the podium in the end.
So we're seeing Grace Henson from Te Aho o Te Kura Pounamu. Ranked number 1 yesterday. And here it is Finlay Kate representing North Coast College. So again, these are our two top qualifiers from yesterday. So it's been a pretty full-on day for our rangatahi. So most of these climbers with our juniors and males, so registered within the 4 categories, we had 186 athletes. Most of them turned up Sunday to come down to the speedwall because not many had experience of speedwall before. So they were able to run through and practice and find the bug to want to speed climb. And then yesterday they had their qualifiers for the leader boulder. And these are the two top qualifiers for the senior males, senior females.
They're both sitting in first after the bouldering. Finlay secured 50 points from the bouldering, and Grace scored 60 points. So it's kind of their top position to lose now. They both still have to fight really hard. The scores are pretty close at the moment. Yeah, I hope to see some higher points reached on these routes.
Grace just focusing on her next plan of action.
It's quite an unusual position because you're so far right and you've got to lower yourself onto that kind of circular hold she's holding right now, just like that. And the feet aren't awesome, so a lot of trust going into that. She looked pretty confident though. Finlay already climbing fast into the roof, finding a nice heel hook. Thought to go a bit further and decided to use all the holds that he needed to use on the way. He's read that sequence right. Starting to look a little bit gassed. You can see the the quick movements, the elbows sticking out, the shoulders sagging, are all signs that the climber is starting to get really tired. Grace fighting super well. She's looking really comfortable.
Now we hear our spectators.
Oh, good effort.
Both going well on top of the roof. Finlay's struggling a little bit to get there.
Oh. Foot slip from Finlay, but he's managed to stay on the wall. It takes a lot of energy though. He's fighting super well.
So
this is well and truly the win.
Second to the last clip. So as soon as he clips onto our last clip, hopefully he's successful going that way. So as soon as he clips that last clip, he has topped it.
It's not easy to clip.
And truly Like I said, a big personality, a little bit upset with himself.
A dominant performance though, that he looked like he was going to fall off. Many moves before that was incredible. Such an awesome fight. An awesome fight from Grace too, getting the high point on the women's route as well. So that'll well and truly be the win for Grace and Finlay. So awesome to see our top guys from qualifiers also winning in the finals.
Tēnā rā koutou. Nō reira, ko otu wā mātou mahi mo tēnei rā, mo tēnei wiki, ki ngā kaiwhakahaere me ngā kaiwhakataitai. Kia haumaru tā koutou hokinga ki o koutou kāinga. Tēnā koutou ngā kai mā takitaki i a koutou tūhonu mai. Nō reira, noho ora mai. To you, Sarah, thank you very much for today.
Thank you for having me.
And to our whakaata Māori, ngā mihi kia koutou katoa. Stay blessed, whānau.
Sport is about more than just a game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
At Apollo Projects, we create better outcomes because we never make any assumptions. Like this sports facility. The client sent out their brief. And when it came to the 4 submissions, we impressed the client with a proposal that went over and above. Because we'd done things differently. We'd pulled together a team of experts, looked around the world for inspiration, and exceeded the client brief. We even brought it in on budget by reducing fees and prioritising function over form. At Apollo, we're more innovative, create specialist project teams, deliver on our promises, and build to the budget. Apollo Projects. No assumptions, better outcomes.
He ahua māma te whakarongo, he māma ki te taringa.
Ai. Ko te whakapiki wairua, te mea nui kia hau nei.
Nui ake ngā hua mō tua. That's us.
Tāku kia koe, bro. Te reo Māori anake te reo I whai pūtea ai, aku mahi katoa.
Taua.
Bringing the fire every week.
The whole system is man, that's what it is.
Make Māori Plus your mate. Download the app today.
Rennie, are you ready?
Yeah. Permission to board. Push, push, push.
Giving up is not an option.
You could just feel the weight away.
Oh my God! I could see myself here on a beautiful sunny day, doing some mad manus in there. Let's go.
No special karakia to speed the process.
Make Māori Plus your mate. Download the app today.
This isn't an ad about four-wheel drives. It's about knowing the place, as well as the locals.
You found the place. That's a good start. Built by my great-grandfather 20 years ago.
The forest should never have been taken off this steep hill country that's eroding, and it makes absolute sense to afforest those hills. What we're doing here is using the exotics to help that process get established. We're looking at a managed transition process where those pines are progressively thinned as the native understory establishes. We're trying to do several things here. Soak up carbon, establish native forest, and we're trying to improve biodiversity. You're achieving an awful lot with one program of activity.
E tiro aroha nau ki ngā mahi toi katoa, ngā mahi auaha. He pōrangi mātai.
Toi tū te rangi, toi tū te whenua, toi tū te reo Māori, toi ata ki te ao.
Check this out. Our top rangatahi.
Wow.
Go head to head.
What a that flick pass.
Watch every player.
What a try.
Every game live on Māori Active. Winter Tournament 2024 ki Māori Active.